Hey Gemini! What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome to your February forecast. Wasn't sure I was gonna make it this month, to be honest with you. Was wondering whether or not I should leave the forecasts as mid-month readings this time around, because I've been a little bit under the weather. I decided to stick through though. Just go with it. Just go with it. Gemini, we're gonna split up this reading into two. General portion and a love portion. But I started with Aquarius last night, and the general portion ended up being a love reading, and the love portion ended up being like a clarification of the love reading, which was meant to be the general reading. We're starting with the general portion of this reading for you guys, though. Gemini, let's see. Laying out the cards differently. Your first card is this Ten of Pentacles. Gemini, this is a very good month for you guys to really trust that your godly given talents will come out strong. Trust that you know more about your work and what it is that you're doing than others around you. Trust that all will come in good time. You know you have the ability to go rather far financially with your work. You just need a little bit of a push. But you also need to be patient. Some of you are getting ahead of yourselves. It's one thing to be optimistic. It's another thing to go against the grain, though. And this month, you're going to see that a lot of people come to you for advice, that a lot of people are starting to admire how good it is that you do what it is that you do. However, what you don't know is that certain things can come to the forefront that will trigger your emotional side, Gemini. And that's going to make you feel vulnerable. It's going to make you feel like you've been put on the spot. You're going to have to let your guards down. There will be some people that enter your life this month that trigger this emotional wound. Things from the past, things that you thought you may have dealt with, things that, you know, were a sore spot once upon a time, and you're like, oh, well, that's over and done with. I dealt with that. Or at least I thought I did. And it's going to have you reevaluate everything. Whereas you thought that you dealt with it, you thought you were being strong, and everyone around you thought that you were being strong, you are a strong sign. You're very confident. You're very ambitious as well. You don't like things to stop you, get in your way, especially when it comes to, you know, the emotional side of things. Small hurdle, it's okay. This will also pass. I'll be fine. I'll sleep on it. I'll wake up like as though nothing happened. But that's not necessarily the case this month. This month you might run into some communication problems with people that press your buttons the wrong way, that rub you the wrong way, and that start to question your abilities, even though you know and they know, they're just doing this on purpose. They're trying to see if they can get to you. But you know, just as much as they know, how talented you are. So if you're doubting whether or not you're in the right industry, whether or not there's a lot more you can achieve in your current job role, I'm talking, you can. If you're thinking, well, when's it going to come full circle? It will. There are just a couple of bumps you need to overcome, some of which will be communication issues, some of which will be distractions of the romantic kind. Trust that if there are any difficult feelings you have to endure this month, that it's meant to teach you something about yourself which you thought you had already overcome, which you thought you'd conquered. And it might surprise those around you to see you have a bit of a weak moment, because you're usually strong. You are strong. But this weak moment, what it's going to do is it's going to trigger an abrupt change and a reevaluation of things. You have the Tower here, and I don't need to explain what this is to a lot of you who are already familiar with the Tower, basically calling for you to break down certain barriers you've put up, to restructure foundations that you've been relying on, for you to let go of certain beliefs that others around you don't share, which, you may have to come to terms with, especially if you want to work with certain people, especially people who are technically oriented. So I'm talking like people who have to deal with their hands, people you need to contract with, people you are soliciting to do things that you can't do. I'm not saying you're not knowledgeable about what it is that you're soliciting them for, but you wouldn't be asking for people's help and advice. You wouldn't be recruiting other people if you had the time for it, or if you had the time to learn. Because Gemini, you like to take things into your own hands. You like to make sure that things are built and constructed the way that you want things to be built and constructed. You often find yourself reworking things. You often find yourself going over other people's work, thinking that you could have done a better job. And yeah, you probably could have if you had the time for it. But since you don't have the time for it, you turn to people who have this ability to see things from different perspectives, from a different perspective. And you may be stubborn, and you may question whether or not their way will work, will be compatible with your way, whether or not you can make things work in the long run, whether or not this is a solid partnership, whether or not this is a solid business, whether or not you can really trust this person to go the extra mile for you. Some of the people that you're contracting here are also going to be doing a little bit of trial and error on your behalf, Gemini. It's a bit risky, but all great things come when you take certain risks. Nothing good is ever easy, as they say. Even if you have to start from scratch, Gemini, it's fine. And that also applies to certain relationships and commitments you have at home, in the family, in your social life. It's okay to feel a little bit vulnerable. It's okay to tear open certain old wounds that never really fully healed. I need to bring my charger. Sorry, guys. We're good. Okay. So Gemini, this month, you've got a lot of work to do. A lot of work when it comes to restructuring and rebuilding the direction you want to take when it comes to your career. Approaching venues from a different side. Take the time, if you can, to learn new skills that will improve upon your the talents that you've already naturally acquired since you were a kid. Things that you've managed to capitalize on because you've always been good at doing whatever it is that you do. Sometimes you find yourself, hitting a stalemate where you're like, okay, I think that my old ways aren't as effective as they used to be, and I'm facing more competition now than I thought I would, and even though I'm doing pretty well, and I'm still confident that I will continue to do well, I need to gain back this edge that I used to have, because maybe what I'm doing now is not as unique as I thought it was, not as unique as other people around me thought it was. And yeah, that's hitting my sore spot. Yeah, it's making me feel a little bit bad about myself. But you know what? I've always been good at what I do. And I'm going to continue to prove to people that I have what it takes to be innovative. I have what it takes to be forward thinking. I'm going to zoom in on the Queen of Swords here, which is talking about karma kind of revisiting you. And that's what I mean by old wounds being reopened, old wounds that you thought you dealt with, whether it was people that you'd lost in the past, endeavors that you weren't as successful at. It can be a variety of things, Gemini. But it's coming back to settle the score, and it's triggering this tower event here to happen. If you cut corners in the past, well, your demons have come back to haunt you now a little bit. So, this Queen of Swords, let's see what it deals with. We're talking about a very strong female figure here in your life, someone with a lot of drive, someone with a lot of collateral. Collateral is coming to me. Competitor is coming to me. Enthusiastic person. Passionate about what they do. Causing you to be a little bit doubtful again of the direction that you're taking. Wondering if this person is going to one-up you. This doesn't have to be a woman, but it can be. When you have that weak moment, Gemini, and you will, do not walk away from everything that you've invested in thus far. This is not equivalent, okay, to this coming apart. Walk away from the emotional turmoil, yes, fine, but face your demons. Skeletons in your closet, you know, are kind of calling on you to pay attention to them. These wounds, that's what we're talking about. Don't walk away from these past hurts that you had successfully avoided, because it's only going to come back around again, Gemini. You don't want to do this. You don't want to walk away from whatever it is that is bothering you or that will bother you this month. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. What you want to do is remind yourself why it is that you started working with whatever it is that you're working in right now. You want to remind yourself why you're a trainer, why you're a teacher, why you're a writer, why you're a lawyer, why you're an engineer, however this resonates with you. Remind yourself of that moment when you had that huge spark of interest that got you to where you are today. It's going to flip your world upside down. You're going to surprise yourself in terms of all the things that, you know, you'd forgotten about. You're going to have some moments where you're just like, I can't believe I forgot this. I can't believe that I've lost myself a little bit. I've lost myself in all of this ordeal. Where's my passion gone? What does this person have that I don't? What gives this person the edge that I used to have? Have I gotten too old? Revisit what it was that set you apart a long time ago. Remind yourself of the assets that have brought you this far. Take them apart and put them back together again. Rearrange them. You have the ability to do this. Even if you think you're not working in a discipline that's as flexible as you'd like it to be, have faith that you can be a bit more inventive. Okay, Gemini. That was your general. If I am rushing through things, it's just because the Aquarius video was a whopping 42 minutes. And I'm trying to make these videos shorter. Don't want to lose your attention. Don't want any of you to get bored. I know some of you are a bit impatient. Except when it comes to your own goals, furthering your own goals, then you're quite patient. However, I see you now struggling a little bit, thinking, when's this gonna happen already? Oh, but it will. It will. Gemini in love. What does Gemini need to know? Okay. Some of you don't have time for a relationship right now. You just kind of want to focus on yourself. You're too busy, honestly, helping other people out, that it's kind of difficult for you to imagine right now how someone else can do that for you. Look. You've been through a lot. Everyone knows this. This is not new news. And you owe it to yourself to take a small, I mean, I've said this so many times, like you guys need to take a vacation. Some of you have already done this, but you owe it to yourselves to continue this trend, to stay away from the drama, stay away from unnecessary tension, stay away from people who trigger you to get off of this wonderful hot air balloon that allows you to stay in mental space that you appreciate, Gemini. Don't let anyone rub you the wrong way. That's already kind of happening in your natural environment, where you kind of have to trigger this yourself because you need to face certain emotions that you weren't so comfortable dealing with in the past, whether that's because you were not mature enough, whether it's because you were not ready, whether it was because you had far too much going on at the time. Now is the time for you to go into your mental space, go into your heart space as well, and allow yourself that time to relax and to let go. This will call for you to rework again the way that you think about things, the way that you've been viewing relationships, and the way that other people have been viewing you when it comes to relationships. You're a very mutable sign, Gemini, so it's easy for you to flip from feeling one thing over to the next. And a lot of people might be coming up to you thinking, are you ever going to change? Are we ever going to see a side of you that is able to commit to a situation? Don't get me wrong, Gemini. What I'm trying to say here is that because you are a mutable sign, you are able to adapt very quickly to new situations. You are able to become comfortable with new people, new ideas, and certain types of new relationships. You are a risk taker. You have an adventurous spirit when it comes to that. But a lot of people might start to question whether or not that makes you a stable partner, whether or not they can turn to you for something that's a bit more serious. And now you might be thinking to yourself, well, I mean, I've been wanting a serious relationship perhaps for a while now, but everyone that's come my way hasn't come through for me, and so why should I do this for others? Like, why should I even bother? What people aren't privy to is that you have so much to offer. You have so much to offer, especially with this star card here on your side. You're quite the multitasker. You're quite the multitasker, and you may be thinking to yourself whether or not it's a wise decision to juggle more than one person or element in your life at the same time. You're probably wondering if you have the energy and the resources to do this. But have faith that you can. There are people around you who can offer you this added motivation and support system that you're looking for. Go find them. They are in your midst. They're not too far away from you. And these people believe in your ability to take on love and take on other responsibilities in your life. If anything, that's what kind of makes you a little bit intimidating. That's what makes some people think, she can hurt us as much as she can love us. Or he can hurt us as much as he can love us. But we don't know what mood they're going to be in when they wake up tomorrow. Which can cause some people to have some doubts about you, but they're wrong because you have far too much to offer. So much love and life that you can bring in their direction. If only they're to ease up a little bit. If only they're to see that you are the way you are because you're good at being in so many places at the same time. And you leave quite an impression on people, Gemini. Ooh. There's no need for self-doubt. Stop tripping. Seriously. It's no one's business how you decide to behave. If they want to see you as someone flaky, let them. They're not meant to be. Then let them go. Screw it. You want someone who's going to be there for you. No matter how you are, no matter what mood you're in when you wake up in the morning. No matter how absent-minded you can get, which is actually pretty much needed right now. You need this mental space. No matter how selfish they are, because they know you need this mental space right now. But they're asking you for more of your time, more of your energy. And so you're tripping, thinking, am I really how they say I am? Am I really incapable? You're not incapable. So quit victimizing yourself, because there's a little bit of victimizing here. Don't go off in La La Land thinking you don't have what other people want. Because you do. You do. Deep down inside, you do know this. This person's waiting for you. But you have to love yourself first. And they're your frickin' soulmate. But you have to love yourself first. I love you, Gemini! Have an awesome February 2017.